Okay.
And it goes inside the bucket. It's gravity operated. You actually put a sock on top of it, which is fabric. And it helps filter out 99% of your contaminants. It goes on top really tight. And then fits inside the bucket.
So this is recommended for the home, for the backpack,
this is actually for out when you bug out, you know, or a third world country. People that went through Katrina could have used this. You never know when there's going to be a disaster. So.
Yeah.
It's good to have this in backup.
Okay.
Vice President of the National Center of Homeopathy.
Oh, really?
And also the owner of Washington Homeopathic Products, which has been in business longer than any other homeopathic manufacturer. So he's like the Albert Einstein of homeopathy.
How can homeopathic stuff help me prepare?
Well, for one thing, it doesn't go bad. Arsenicum. It's big for food poisoning.
Poison ivy.
Yeah. What's this one? Influenzinum.
So what's in this?
What's in it?
Yeah.
Tobacco.
Oh, really?
Yeah, tobacco is one of the
Palladium, Nux vomica, and tobacco.
So this is much better than the stop smoking gum.
These are compost buckets that are really convenient to use indoors, and the nice thing about this is you're not going to have any odoriferous, compost smells wafting through the house, and it breaks the food scraps down really in about half the time of a normal compost pile. And they've been using these in Japan for like 25 years or something. It's just a really good indoor system. And it has the spigot on the bottom because when your food scraps start breaking down, after you add our bran flake combination, you're going to get a compost tea, and you can just drain that out after about 3 or 4 days and use that as a soil amendment, on your house plants or out in the garden or around your trees, whatever you're thinking.
Yeah. Now you're from Texas, is that correct? I saw it was in a Texas area code, so I heard, I'm new here from Oregon, I heard the soil's very clay-like. So this is very important to maintaining a healthy garden, to put the nutrients back in?
It's incredibly important because our soils are so depleted, all around the world, not just in Texas, but in Texas we've had serious droughts going on for the last, like 3 or 4 years. Austin in particular has been really drought-stricken. And the more you can keep the microbes going in the soil, the better it's going to retain water and moisture. So it's incredibly important just to keep this whole cycle going, and that's, I would say, the main focus.
We say that if your grandma knew how to do it, you can learn how to do it too. It's not supposed to be intimidating, and we hope that everybody can learn to produce, preserve, and prepare their own food in a really healthy way, so you know where your food comes from and you have some on your shelf for a rainy day. So we sell everything from grain mills to dehydrators, pressure canners, water purification systems like the Berkey, and a wide variety of kitchen items that are really hard to find anymore. Things your grandma might have used, like oil and grease catchers, so you can reuse your lard, those types of items. This is the Wonder Junior Deluxe. It is a fraction of the cost of other grain mills on the market, and it comes with everything you need, like the clamp, which some of the other mills do not. It has a very high throughput, so each turn of your crank you're actually getting 150% more than you are from the other leading grain mill on the market. One of the features we absolutely love about this grain mill is it has this attachment to allow you to use your cordless drill, and so you can now pay half of the same amount, half of the money on a hand crank grain mill and turn it into an electric mill. And some people ask me, well, how would this ever help me in a grid down situation? Well, some drills out there actually have the cigarette lighter attachment. So if you can simply get a solar power battery, you can now solar power a drill, and who wouldn't need a drill even in a grid down situation? So now you would have a solar power drill.
In fact, there's a solar power battery over here.
Yeah, I think other people have those. So you can now use a solar power drill, and in a grid down situation, you can have an electric grain mill for a fraction of the cost of some of the other grain mills.
So I know it looks like a chimenea, but it's not. It's actually just a small scale model of our underground bunker that we sell. Here, I'll step in front for you.
Oh wow. Okay.
And it's specifically designed to go underneath your existing garage floor. The hatch up here goes flush, lays flush with your floor when it's all done. From the top to the bottom, it's 14.5 feet. The ball itself is 10.5 feet in diameter. It has an air supply system. It has a storage underneath there, underneath the floor that's built into the bottom down there. It's watertight and made of fiberglass and a closed cell foam on the inside. Yeah, and you can use it for all different types of things, for storm shelters, panic rooms, storage cache for your guns, your precious metals, maybe a spousal punishment chamber. If you're, you know, usually it's a guy getting in trouble though. So, but there is a way to get out of that, just in case that happens also. The inside of the hatch there, you can see on this picture here. This is the garage that it's actually installed under. There's a mat that covers it, and you can't even tell that it's there. And if somebody parks on top of you, there's a bottlenose jack, and you can jack yourself up out of there. Even if your house fell on top of it, you'd still be able to get out of there.
And these?
And these are just pictures of the process that we went through to install our first, the one that we use for viewings and showings. So here you can see where we cut out the concrete. This is the house that was in, and we cut out the concrete here, chipped it up, and then we hand dug it 15 feet. You can see here. And then it's 3 components. The bottom half, which has the floor in it, goes in first, the top half, then we backfill it, and then the junction box goes on top, and then the air supply system and your electricity is put through. And then we tied in into the concrete here, into the existing slab, re-poured it, as you can see here, totally flush with it, and boom, got your secret man cave.
And your website is?
smartproducttechnology.com or urbanfoxhole.com.
The most important thing is community.
Most important thing is everything.
Everything.
Everything. Community, food, shelter, water, air is number 1. 3 minutes without air, it's over. How about you?
Absolutely.
You know, when I close my show with, above all, honesty and integrity, what happens next is up to you. Does that say it?
All right, so amateur radio is it's a group of licensed operators that talk to other licensed operators all around the world. There are about 700,000 amateur radio operators in the United States. There's millions all over the world. It is a hobby. You are required to have a license to be able to communicate. And the cool thing, and that goes along with emergency preparedness or prepping or self-reliance is you can literally talk radio to radio. There's no infrastructure, there's no systems, there's no anything like cell phones. If there's a disaster, cell phones are down, nobody's talking. And our big motto that we're very proud of is when all else fails, there's amateur radio. We're still communicating. Again, it's a hobby, so there are fun aspects to it. There's all different kinds of things for everybody. Used to be, was required, if you want to look here at Morse code or CW used to be required. It's not anymore, but yet there are still guys that do Morse code to this day. We could go on the bands right now and you could hear, and we can do that here in a few minutes, you can hear some folks doing actual CW. There's digital that a lot of people like, that's a lot like Twitter and IM and stuff, but you radio to radio, there's nothing to get in the way of it. And then there's, just simple talking voice, and it's a lot of fun. But from this side of things, it will work when nothing else works. Hams have been a great help in the tsunamis in Japan and Southeast Asia. We were very integral in 9/11 when the Haiti earthquake occurred. Some of the first information coming out of Haiti was amateur radio operators. Amateur radio has been around for a lot of years. In a lot of the South American countries and some of the third world countries, that was a lot of the only communications that was available, and it's still thriving, and the technology keeps getting more and more high tech and smaller. As you can see here, this is an HF radio that can talk around the world. It's what we call QRP on 5 watts, and it has great versatility. We pride ourselves in having redundant infrastructureless things like this. This battery can run with this solar panel for a long period of time, and we can literally communicate when everything else is done. So this is a typical HF, which is high frequency radio equipment. With this transceiver, I can literally talk around the world, either on voice, digital, or different modes. Right here, what I have set up is a digital mode, and there's nobody on the band right now, but basically you'd see signals here, and then here's the text as you see coming across there. So you can do that, or you can just simply do voice, and we'll turn up here and see if anybody's out talking.
My name on it, over.
So here's a voice transmission now.